Tonight on CTV News at 5.
People are always on them shooting messages and stuff. Just put the phone down for a couple minutes and you'll probably be fine.
Hands on the wheel. St. John police crack down on distracted driving.
And he was an inspiring story in a number of ways. He was constantly battling through injury to be a key part of the team.
And lasting legacy. Friends and fans remember a former Cape Breton captain.
It's a clear night ahead, followed by a sunny Thursday. Temperature starting to come up a bit as well.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Penopalis. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 tonight, distracted driving. From snacking to searching your playlist or trying to calm a child or pet, there's no shortage of distractions when you're behind the wheel. But as CTV's Avery McCrae shows us, St. John Police is reminding drivers to keep their eyes and attention on the road. Avery.
Maria, distracted driving is the #1 road concern for Canadians. It doesn't help that half of Canadians admit to driving distracted in some way, shape, or form, which is why St. John Police is looking to raise awareness on the growing issue. For young drivers like Matthew LeBlanc, issues like other drivers speeding and blowing traffic lights aren't his biggest worry when he gets behind the wheel.
The phones are the biggest problem out here. People are always on them shooting messages and stuff. Just put the phone down for a couple minutes and you'll probably be fine.
That's why this week, St. John Police is holding a distracted driving campaign that will focus on enforcement and education.
Over the next couple days, we will have different sections of the city where we'll have officers set up at different locations to enforce distracted driving legislation, as well as enforcement and education to the public.
Staff Sergeant Sarah Hobbs says more and more accidents the force responds to these days involve some sort of distracted driving, which are easily avoidable.
It's an opportunity for people to become aware that with driving privileges, there also becomes an element of public safety and the onus of the driver to ensure that we're following the rules of the road.
It's not just the cell phone anymore.
CAA spokesperson Julia Kent says massive screens being built into newer cars, eating, as well as kids or pets in the back keeping your focus off the road all contribute to distracted driving.
Set your GPS, set your music, make any phone calls you need to make, look up directions, do all of those things before you embark on your trip, even if you're just doing a short trip from the home to the grocery store.
While officials say the list of distractions are growing, others argue a simple phone call doesn't mean you're not paying attention to the road.
If a cop drives by and you're texting, sure, okay, absolutely. But come on, okay, if the guy's on his phone, okay, right, and he's driving, what kind of distraction is that? No more than touching your radio controls.
The distracted driving campaign wraps up at the end of the week, but it's hoped the message carries forward. As far as consequences for driving distracted, drivers can be fined upwards of $1,300. They can also be subjected to losing demerit points, and of course there is always the risk of causing an accident leading to serious harm to yourself and others. Maria?
Not worth the risk. Thank you, Avery. CTV's Avery McCrae for us in St. John this evening. All right, time to head over to the anchor desk now, where Todd Battis is standing by with a look at the day's headlines. Hi there, Todd.
Hi there, Maria. Coming up at 6 o'clock, police in Cape Breton have charged a woman with second-degree murder after officers discovered an unresponsive person inside a home in River Ryan. The 45-year-old accused remains in custody tonight. Police say the accused and victim, a 47-year-old man from Sydney, are known to each other. Police could be feeling, or people rather, could be feeling some relief at the pumps following the announcement of a 2-week ceasefire in the war in Iran. But according to industry experts, drivers may want to wait a few days to fill up. It's a significant drop. Could happen, and if it does, it certainly won't be any earlier than this weekend. We'll explain at 6 o'clock. And new numbers out today show just how much a concern crime is among Canadian businesses, especially small businesses. Half of Canadian owners say crime has increased in their community over the past year, and while efforts have been made in some areas in the Maritimes to combat the issue, the CFIB says more needs to happen to help them out. We saw that program announced in Moncton yesterday. Let's bring in CTV meteorologist Guillaume Mitchell with our first look at the weather. All that talk about snow yesterday didn't amount to so much, hey?
No, it's just a very light snowfall for Nova Scotia. There were a few communities in the province that reported maybe up to around a few centimeters of snow, but that was about it. And then, of course, the sunshine that came out behind it for today, that took care of that little bit of April snow. Now, temperatures right now around the region for the province of Nova Scotia are mostly in the range of around 4 to 7 degrees. I did get some reports, though, that a few communities may have touched into the double digits for today. A few temperatures between 10 and 12 degrees. It has remained a little bit cooler for eastern parts of that province. Right now, Shetty Camp is sitting at -1 and Sydney sitting at 2 degrees. Speaking of some cooler conditions, right now in Prince Edward Island at Charlottetown and Summerside, it is near 0. And for the province of New Brunswick right now, most temperatures between 3 and 6 degrees. Here's a look at the winds around the region. They're mostly out of the northwest. They're being sustained between around 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. Checking in on wind gusts, we've got a few here and there between 30 and 40 kilometers per hour. Now, the combination of some clear skies tonight and that northerly wind does mean that the overnight temperatures are going to be getting on the chilly side. Most of the lows tonight for the Maritimes will still be falling below the freezing mark. Speaking of the clear conditions, though, over on radar and satellite, we can see not much in the way of cloud cover in place over the Maritimes, and that will continue for this evening and tonight as this large area of high pressure continues to move in from the west. This is going to be basically the weather system in charge for weather over the next couple of days, and high pressure systems often come in with very fair conditions, and that's in the forecast for both Thursday and Friday. There's going to be some sunnier weather, and while the mornings will still be on the brisk side, the afternoon temperatures are going to be coming up a few degrees each of those days. So we'll be talking more about that when I'm back with the details of the forecast a little bit later on. Maria.
Thank you very much, Kayla. No complaints here. It's perfect hot tub weather. When we come back, we head out to our hot tub, where tonight's special guest is the one and only Heather Rankin. Find out what she's been up to and how to win this $30,000 spa. CTV News at 5 will be right back. Stay with us.
It's the best night of the year. Join Jose Bautista, Brett the Hitman Hart, and Jennifer Botterill at the Desjardins Sports Charity Dinner April 16th in Halifax. Funds raised support Canadian Progress Club Halifax. For tickets, visit progressclubhalifax.ca.
Welcome back to CTV News at 5. So when I say iconic maritime family, a few families probably come to mind. And when I say iconic maritime voice, a few voices probably come to mind. But the next person you're about to meet has both of those things. Welcome, Heather Rankin. How are you?
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for the bubbles up the butt.
You are hilarious and lovely, and what a treat to have you in our hot tub. So first of all, tell me, how is the hot tub?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's not something I would ever think to try, but it's beautiful. It's nippy outside a little bit,
yeah,
but it's beautiful in here. I'm cozy and warm and getting my butt massaged by the water.
I love that. Okay, so listen, this it seems to me like you are working a lot these days and that you're always working. You're a busy gal, so sitting in the hot tub might not be what you usually do, but how do you make time for it all?
You know, it's funny. Heading into this year, I thought, oh, well, I have a couple of things, but not too many, major events happening. But it keeps, getting busier and more. I keep thinking I'm going to be semi-retired, but I keep working and getting more offers to do exciting, fun things, and so I can't.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's delightful.
The next big thing you've got coming your way is Symphony Nova Scotia, April 25th and 26th, I think?
That's right, and it's always an incredible honor to get on stage with a stage full of amazing musicians. And I come from such a different world, the folk world, and their schooling in music is somewhat different. So for those two things to come together, it's pretty special.
What is your favorite thing about being on stage with all that sound behind you?
Oh my gosh, it's a dream come true. Just the support of all of those people behind you is amazing. I think coming from a background of having all kinds of family on stage with you, it's a nice change from doing the trio.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your TV.
Yeah.
You are doing this amazing show called My Cape Breton. I know Cape Breton is yours, but I think we all feel a little bit of kinship to Cape Breton. But why did you decide to do this series?
I've been wanting for a while to just go around the island and visit with different musicians and talk about different things that people may not be aware of on the island. And I met Paul Gardner from 5 TV, and he was all over the idea, and he's partly his idea as well. And we've just had so much fun in the last 2 seasons exploring the island together. He's learning and I'm learning.
Yeah, and you're not just hosting, you are doing so much of the after work as well. I know you've spent a lot of time in the studio afterwards.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've done TV before, but always on one side. So being on both sides of the camera, I'm producing, I'm writing, I'm hosting, I'm performing on the shows. So and researching and a lot of all of everything in between. So it's been a grand learning experience and a joy.
And a labor of love,
and a labor of love.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe there'll be a 3rd season.
Well, fingers crossed for that.
Yeah.
But before the 3rd season, you've got a big trip. You're headed to Europe with your brother?
Yes, I'm going to be sailing on the Danube.
Ooh.
The Emma Sophia is a brand new riverboat cruiser, and I think it has about 150 cabins. And we're going to sail down the Danube and visit all these historic cities and visit abbeys and fortresses and UNESCO World Heritage sites, and we're going to taste wine. And not taste wine, if that's your preference. We're going to visit some vineyards. We're going to have some wine tastings and some wine pairings, and there'll be lots of music and lots of fun.
Heather, Jimmy, and the Danube.
You betcha.
You betcha. That sounds like a lot of fun.
They're never going to regret it.
Well, we are so grateful that you took some time to join us here. And again, how's the hot tub?
Oh my God. I think I might have to get one of these.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Look at you. All right, so if you at home would like to win this fabulous hot tub, CTV and Arctic Spas want to give you the chance to hop into a hot tub of your very own. One lucky viewer will take home a Yukon hot tub package valued at $31,000, featuring 2 pumps, 4 massage jets, a weather shield cover, a cover lifter, and a Spa Boy saltwater system. To enter, head to ctvatlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts or scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can answer once per day until Saturday, the 18th. Thank you so much, Heather, for being here. You can hang out as long as you like.
Okay. I'm going to do some synchronized swimming.
Oh,
so
go for it.
Can capture some of that.
Okay, good idea. Until then, here's Kaylin.
Well, speaking of Heather and My Cape Breton, just before the commercial break, let's take a look at a view from Cape Breton today. And this is done by drone. This is in around the Sydney area. So, of course, there were parts of Cape Breton and Sydney itself that did pick up a very light snowfall last night. But in behind it, there was a good deal of clearing as that weather system exited off towards the northeast. It allowed for some April sunshine in the region today. Took care of that little bit of snow that we saw. Hey, I've got more sunshine in the forecast, and I'll have that coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Kaylin Mitchell joins us now. And Kaylin, I just spent a few minutes out on the back deck with Heather Rankin, and oh my goodness, what a lovely afternoon. It's been a really pleasant day. Yeah, it has been. I mean, you get that this time of the year. Anytime we get a good deal of sunshine shining through, and if you enjoyed that, you like the weather conditions for tomorrow, and temperatures even come up a couple of degrees during the day. Let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times. And for that, we're going to the Avenir Center in Moncton. The Moncton Wildcats are on to the second round of the QMJHL playoffs. I think they have Val-d'Or up next. That next game coming up on Friday. And hope the Wildcats, of course, continue to move on through the playoffs. Let's take a look at our weather systems map. Barometric pressure is very much on the higher side for all 3 maritime provinces now. You can see it sitting above 1,030 millibars. Fredericton, Charlottetown Airport, and the Halifax Airport. And that high pressure system is still drifting our way, moving in from the west. It's going to be basically directly over the Maritimes tonight.
into the start of the day on Thursday and then drift slightly east of the Maritimes through the day, but it is going to be accompanied by plenty of fair weather. As we take a look at things on radar, there's nothing showing up. One of the things that a high pressure system comes in with is something called subsidence. It's basically a downward forcing on the atmosphere, and it prevents sort of the upward motion in the atmosphere that we need to get a lot of cloud cover to develop, or certainly any precipitation. So that area of high pressure being in place, nothing showing up here on radar, and no precipitation in the forecast for tonight. As we take a look at our forecast timeline for cloud cover and precipitation then, as we make our way through tonight, very clear conditions for the Maritimes. Now temperatures, because of the northerly wind, are going to be getting a little bit chilly during the overnight hours. So despite the fact that I mentioned that, the daytime temperatures will be coming up a couple of degrees on Thursday, first thing in the morning, still going to be a little brisk around the region. Now, as we make our way from the morning into the afternoon, it remains mostly sunny and very clear conditions expected for the first part of Thursday evening. Though moving through Thursday night, we will see some increasing cloudiness in the north of New Brunswick and a chance of a shower or flurry there. By early Friday morning, there'll be a low chance that maybe a couple of those showers or flurries could drift down towards central areas of New Brunswick. And Friday itself for the Maritimes, a bit more of a mix of sun and cloud. There will then be some April rain and showers that become a little bit more widespread Friday night and Saturday as a cold front moves in from the west. Taking a look at the winds in the forecast for tonight and for tomorrow, the slightly breezy winds out there around the Maritimes this evening will be diminishing as we head towards midnight, and then in the forecast for tomorrow, winds becoming southerly in direction. They'll be sustained in a lot of cases, 10 to 20 kilometers per hour, with a few gusts up between 20 and 40. Taking a look at low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for the region, many parts of the Maritimes will see lows fall a few to several degrees below the freezing mark, even a little bit colder than that, still up around the northwest of New Brunswick. Some low temperatures between -9 and -12. And then in the forecast for tomorrow, high temperatures, mostly high single digits and low teens. So many in the range of around 8 to 12 degrees for the region. Some coastal areas, especially around the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia, held a little bit cooler with some highs between 5 and 9 degrees because that south wind is a little bit more onshore off those ocean waters that are still sitting with some temperatures mostly around +1 or +2. Taking a look at the forecast for Friday, as I mentioned, that area of high pressure is now moving a little bit further towards the east of us. So it's going to be a bit more of a mix of sun and cloud through the day, especially for the province of New Brunswick. But once again, temperatures away from coastal areas could be up into the low, maybe even some mid-teens on the coast. A lot of high temperatures expected around the high single digits. And then Friday night into Saturday, we've got a cold front that's going to be making its way across the Maritimes. It will be bringing in a round of some April rain and showers with it. So that'll be clearing across southern areas of New Brunswick very early on Saturday and moving across Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia throughout the day. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is 6-year-old Lauren DeMarchant from Sussex, New Brunswick. And Lauren has sent us a scene of a sunny day helping the flowers grow, and a nice looking bee flying around as well, Lauren. Great job on this drawing. Weather watchers can come in anytime to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. Time for our final break here on CTV News at 5. But when we come back, a look back at the life of Guillaume Demers.
Definitely one of the hardest working guys in the gym. He kept himself in great shape.
The former Cape Breton captain is remembered fondly by fans and former teammates. His lasting legacy next.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Did you hear that we're sending you to see Bruno Mars live in Toronto?
Just listen to Move 100 on the iHeartRadio app for 10 minutes each day, and you're in to win.
To the outside, LaBelle in back of the goal. Hooks around and scores! LaBelle, what a charge down that right wing.
Game 7 heartbreak last night for the Charlottetown Islanders. The Islanders lost a tough 1-0 Game 7 to Quebec last night, eliminating Charlottetown from the Q-League playoffs. The Islanders dropped 2 games in a row at home, Game 6 and 7. Meanwhile, as we mentioned earlier, the Moncton Wildcats begin their second-round series against Val-d'Or on Friday. Go Wildcats, go. All right, so as the Cape Breton Eagles wrapped up their season over the long weekend, fans and former teammates remembered a team captain who passed away recently. CTV's Ryan McDonald has more on a legacy left on and off the ice.
Demers on all fours. Vaillant coming away with it. Out front it goes. Here's Demers with the chance. He scores!
More than 20 years ago, a teenager from Quebec came to Cape Breton speaking little English. He left as the captain and undisputed leader of the Q League's Screaming Eagles.
You know, everyone got along, and he was a big part of that, just the way he treated people.
Demers pulls it free. Spin around. Here's Guillaume with a one-timer. He scores! Oh, what a setup by Guillaume Demers!
Not only was Guillaume Demers a slick offensive talent on the ice, but he became just as well known for excelling in the classroom.
One of the best students we ever had.
Recently, former teammates and Cape Breton fans were saddened to hear that Demers had passed away suddenly back home in Quebec. He was 42 years old.
It was utter shock.
Very sad. You know, he was such a nice guy.
Steve Dixon played with Demers all 4 years that both players spent in Cape Breton. He says what set the team's captain apart was his work ethic.
You know, he sticks out as you know, definitely one of the hardest working guys in the gym. He kept himself in great shape.
George Bailey was the Eagles' education coordinator at the time, including Demers' final season when he was named Scholastic Player of the Year for the entire league for 2004-05.
He was going to go somewhere academically, play a good level of hockey, and would do really well in life.
And he was an inspiring story in a number of ways. He was constantly battling through injury to be a key part of the team.
Play-by-play announcer Pat McNeil was a big fan of the team when Demers was on it. He points out the two other Eagles have won the league's and the country's academic awards since, and feels Demers paved the way for that kind of academic success.
And the Eagles have been fortunate enough to have a number of players achieve that status after him, but he was the trailblazer in that regard.
Today's players wore Demers' number 18 on the backs of their helmets during their first-round playoff series against the Newfoundland Regiment. They're too young to remember him, but those who do say he won't be forgotten.
I just remember him as a super guy.
It's just how unfortunate it is, and you know, thoughts with his family and loved ones.
Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
Thank you, Ryan. And of course, condolences to the family and friends of Guillaume Demers.
Obviously left quite a legacy, though.
Absolutely, absolutely.
People are remembering him very fondly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the weather, because I know we had a beautiful day today.
Yeah,
you
we
might
did.
be looking forward to more of the same tomorrow.
Yeah, if you do like sunnier April weather, and I mean, a lot of people out there probably looking forward to a couple days like that at this point. Yeah, listen, we've got more of that in the forecast coming up. Both Thursday, even Friday is looking like a pretty fair weather day. Some April rain showers coming in Friday night into Saturday, and then in behind that, return to some sunshine through the end of the weekend on Sunday. So we'll go through that in detail coming up at 6.
Excellent. We'll see you and Todd at 6. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody.